have been raped 15 times, right? So I'm not going to give details to all of them, but I'm going to give details to the beginning of most of them. And that's where my suicide started. You know, in total, I attempted 11 suicides. So in Africa as a whole, I am seen as a magic charm. That's number one. I am seen as a curse. Number two. I am seen as a money-making machine. So in Zambia, when they see a person with albinism, the first thing is you need to spit in your shirt. You open your shirt and you go. That means you will not have a child like myself. And in South Africa, since we are in South Africa, a person with albinism is called liswefe. That means a pig. Inkau, meaning an ape.
Welcome back to Zap Talks, the podcast brought to you by Zap Hub, the most trusted, verified, safe property ecosystem in all of South Africa. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out zaphub.co.za. Now, what we intended for Zap Talks was to talk to people that are doing something different, so the experts in the industry, organizations that influence the community, everyone that is doing their parts in South Africa to make a difference. And I am so excited to have Regina on our episode. I don't even know how we met. I think it was through my viral video about a Women for Change.
Yes.
And the fact that I was a supporter of Women for Change, and then some chaos happened. I'm sure you can go watch it on TikTok. And then I ran into an organization who introduced us together.
Absolutely.
And your story is so incredible and so astronomically sad and powerful and all of the emotions that there is no way I would not have Regina on Zap Talks to discuss gender-based violence and what it means and everything that comes with it and being a survivor and a warrior after. How do we pick up the pieces? And it's great to put it out there, but what happens next? So I'm very excited to welcome Regina. Please pronounce your full name because I'm guaranteed I'm going to butcher it.
It's Kafula Regina Mary Ndlovu.
Oh.
Yes. And I put in my Zambian name. I'll explain it later. But I'm known as Regina Mary, but I just had to put in Kafula as well.
I was asking because I saw some of your certificates that you on all the work you've done, and there was 2 different names that showed up. So now we know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll get into it when you
Okay.
ask. But when we start, so I'm gonna let you do your. Or unless we've already started.
No, we're gonna start whenever. So let's start with your story, which is so intense. So who are you? What is your story?
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity
Of course.
because I just love to talk about my story, not for me, but for the fact that once upon a time when I was feeling the way I was feeling, I wanted somebody that I could relate to. You know, there's sometimes you're in a room and you want to hear who's going through what I'm going through so I can talk about it. So I never really had that. So for years, I hated myself. I was self-conflicted, okay? But I will start from the beginning. So I'm talking about this because I want somebody out there to know that it just come out, let us walk this path and nothing is impossible. That's why.
Absolutely.
So yes, as you see, blonde hair, original. It's not dyed, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's original, yes. I am defined as a woman with albinism. I'm human, but we are in a society that has got descriptions for communication, for understanding, for better information. So I am born with albinism. It's a skin condition medically where I'm black, but because I would just explain it in a very, very simple way, like I'm 2 years, because that's how I learn and how I speak to other people. So it's like maybe I don't have melanin. That means I didn't get the black color, the white color over your skin.
Yeah.
I'm underneath that, right? So this is albinism. Anybody with any human being, even yourself as a white woman. I don't know if that's correct to say it that way. Is it fine?
No.
Yes. Black person, colored, Indian. I don't know if these things are right, but I'm just trying to make it clear.
No, absolutely.
Everybody can have a child with albinism. It's not a curse. It's not, oh my God, blah blah blah. basically I'm just a beautiful, gorgeous creation, right?
I agree.
Yes. And I know that now, but unfortunately I had to learn who I am by actually understanding what society perceives me. And this is not the past. It's still currently happening. So I haven't stopped this journey. I will continue until the finish line. So I was born in Zambia and raised in South Africa. My mother is Zambian. My father is South African. My grandmother is South African, Vryheid, KwaZulu-Natal. She married a Zambian man and then she moved to Zambia and she began her life there. And she had about 9 kids who were raised in different departments. So basically my dad was located in Zambia, met my mom, and then they had me. And that's how I became brought onto earth. Okay.
Birds and the bees. Okay, perfect. Yes.
So now here's where the story starts. When I was born, just like every other mother knows, when you go to hospital and you're about to give birth, it's the most beautiful thing. The baby comes out. I mean, I gave birth as well. The first thing they're like, oh, well, mine, they said, do you see it's a boy or girl? They didn't say, oh, congratulations. Like, I guess we watch it on TV. So when I was born, the nurse asked my mom, is your husband a white man? My mom was like, no, why are you saying that? And then they raised me like Simba. Look. Not, congratulations, you have a beautiful daughter. She's a girl. They said, look what you gave birth to. Okay, so my mom, at least she was educated, so she didn't really panic and say, oh my God. In most cases, during my advocacy, most women who are not informed panic at the hospital. They just like, no, what have I given birth to? So it's kind of a traumatic experience, right? So with my mom, she knew what I was. But my dad came into the room and when he saw me, then he thought, no, my wife went and slept with another man, a white man. That's how I came. So my grandmother told my father that her great-grand-uncle had albinism. So that's why she's here. So sometimes families accept it, assuming it's from
the line.
Yes,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And that's how my life started. My dad came back and I was loved and he treated me like a princess, and that was my foundation with my dad. But in society, until date, this is not in the past, this is not something that people used to, it's currently happening in every African country. You understand? So in Africa as a whole, I am seen as a magic charm. That's number 1. I am seen as a curse. Number 2, I am seen as a money-making machine. I'm actually a woman with me who looks like me, who in society they say albino, but the correct word is a person with albinism, right? On Google, it says on the black market, if you chop my body parts and sell them in Tanzania, on the black market, there's basically a figure with so many zeros next to that. So basically our body parts get chopped up and get sold in the black market for black magic. Some people believe if they just touch me, they're going to go play the lotto and they're going to win.
No, I mean, really.
Give it to me when you're done with it.
We'll split it.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And that's the part, like, people, don't you think I want some of this money?
Yes, exactly. Wow.
Imagine. So basically, I didn't get to be educated about these things, that this is what people do. I basically walked through them. And in South Africa, since we are in South Africa, a person with albinism is called liswefe. That means a pig, or just an animal that is just disgusting, like an armpit, liswefe, armpit, so you're hidden. Inkau, meaning an ape. Isinyama, meaning a curse, right? The list goes on. Oh, by the way, they also believe that a person with albinism can cure HIV and AIDS.
I've heard of that one for sure.
Absolutely. So I will get to that. So I just had to highlight those things.
This must be something that never leaves your being. Like, are you constantly, when people look at you, is this constantly going in your head?
At this stage, no. Right now I embrace. Right now I have, like, this is why if a person with albinism is watching, or any other person, you get to switch the whole thing, because most of the times this is what they were taught. This is what people are, this is information that was presented to you until you meet me and I tell you a different story.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
see? So I have basically, I don't get scared. I don't walk around thinking something is wrong. I actually know I'm beautiful, and people stare at me because they can't comprehend. You see, and also when you're raised in a foundation where your family members also tell you about these things, and you have never found your voice, then you're going to walk around like that.
Yeah, isolated and
But
scared. Yeah.
yes, and you're scared, and also how people treat you, then it's like that. But when you break out of this gate and you realize, no, it's all about communication. It's all about introducing. Let me reintroduce myself. I have been introduced to you, but now get to know me. So no, I don't have that anymore.
You've been seen but not heard.
No, I walk like this.
I
Bring it.
love this lady.
Bring it.
Yeah.
You see? So the beginning of my story, now we're going back. That's how I got to know these things.
Yeah.
The beginning of my story, as a child, in the beginning, of course, I don't know anything, but around 8 or so, in Dola, there would be, like, a community mini suburb. They would have kids would come pile up at our gate. Like, a lot of kids would pile up. And because I'm short-sighted, by the way, I cannot see far. And when I say short-sighted, like, basically I see like this.
I know, we were filming the TikTok and you're like,
Yes,
I get it. Yeah.
And this is not that I'm struggling. This is how I get things done. If I do this and I'm doing this, I'm struggling. Okay. If I put my phone in my eyeballs, I will get the job done. I will see what I need to see. I will give you the best work ever, because that's how my eyesight is. You see? And there's different types of people with albinism. Some have got a bit of melanin. That means extra color. They look a little bit brownish. So those sight is a bit longer. So each of us, his sight is different. And we can only know when you go and get your eyes checked by a doctor. But all of us are basically short-sighted. And that is the honest truth. And we just have to embrace it, you know? So as a child, and you can see, sometimes we mark what we need to see. Like, I can see a whole full figure with colors, but I might not say that is brown man. But I can see there's black, there's jeans, there's, color.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
see? And I'm not colorblind or anything like that. It's just the distance. The further the distance, the less details.
So I am so beautiful to you right now.
Of course. Absolutely. Of course. Beautiful.
We get to make whatever we want with the short-sightedness. So yeah, embrace it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I would see, like, group of kids outside the gate. There was like a fence, and the fence you could see into the yard. Then I would go running to the fence, and those kids would go running, screaming. And then they would come back again. Look, there she is. Like, there's the door, And I would go to the gate, and they would go running. So in my head, I thought
it was a game.
It was a game. They come, I go there, they run.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. Then this one time, a woman walks into the yard with her daughter, very same size as me, very small. Then I went to her. Lord. That's the situation. Not get away from it. You know how a child screams like that?
Terrified, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
terrified is the word.
Yeah.
And instead of, no, this is another child, she looks like you, and I have to tell these details because I'm speaking to the world. Kids with albinism will be born every day, right? At this point, I'm at the point where I'm peaceful with my family, everything is gone, but the story has to still be told, because when they're not informed, they made the choices that they did. And now that they're informed, we are in a better place. But I cannot leave out any details because the next mother out there has to learn. So basically, it wasn't like, no, this is another child, let us get them to know each other, right? So it was like, go, 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 go. And that's when I felt something wasn't right, because I was chased. You understand? There's a difference between go there and go, get away from here. Then I thought something wasn't right, but I couldn't really put to it what was it as a child. And then there were incidents when I would walk with my brother, right? We would go on the street. And the discrimination from the society itself, because sometimes it starts, could be in the house, with some people, and then it goes outside. But for me, it was outside, and also not too informed in the inside. So I would walk to the shops with my brother, or we'd go to school together. So because the kids outside would, okay, so in Zambia, when they see a person with albinism, the first thing is you need to spit in your shirt. You open your shirt and you go, that means you will not have a child like myself.
Oh,
So that was like common. Yes. So those things would happen where people would laugh, people would look at us and they would laugh. So that affected my brother, who's only 2 years older than me. Okay. As parents, as guardians, we're supposed to educate the other sibling. This is your sister. This is going to happen when you go out there, but you're going to love her. You're going to hold her. But because nobody prepared him for that. So what did he do? He treated me like the kids outside treated me. They said, get away from me. I don't want anybody to see me with you. So automatically, my foundation was being broken, being suppressed. You understand? Sometimes if you've got so much light in you and so much power, darkness would try and break you before you realize it. So that's how my foundation started. Now, we get to primary school. It's a private school. And you think because the private school, they might know better. The kids would not want to sit next to me. They wouldn't want to share a table with me. And they would spit. And I cannot see if they're spitting from a distance, but I can see when the person is right here next to me. And sometimes when you are walking, you get to have somebody say to you, the people are spitting. Why? Because of your color. Somebody like you is not a human. Somebody like you is not this and that and that. Okay, so in primary school, my teacher would be writing on the blackboard. So I cannot see what she's writing, but I can see that the kids next to me have taken out their papers and they're doing something. So I said to her, ma'am, at first I was like, ma'am, and I got, what? And then my voice shrinked. And I said, ma'am, I can't see what you're writing on the board. She says, I'm not going to stop teaching the entire class for one child. You don't belong here. Then she sent me to the sick room. I was put in the sick room. When other kids would write, I would be in the sick room the whole day. And because of that choice that she made, I never learned how to read or write. I never learned your R, A, E, O, O, your vowels. I knew this at the age of 25. Throughout, even now, if you give me just something off the run, say read this, I will read what I've learned throughout my resilience. But I cannot just, I can't. I don't know how to construct words. I don't know anything. I don't know meters. I don't know length. I never learned what a child deserves to learn in the foundation of education. And that was how my life started. And I didn't know this along the way. And I didn't know this was happening to me until I was put in a group of other kids who were reading and I realized I couldn't read. So that was basically my primary school. I was locked up in the sick room and I never learned. When I got home, I guess hard work, because I don't want to say my parents were reckless. I'm at a point where I shouldn't use those words. But because, when you are the breadwinner in the house, you leave home, the first person to leave the house, you're the last person to enter. You are tired, your boss gave you a hard time. The last thing you'll be asking is, how was school? You understand? You're paying top dollar. It's a private school. You expect everything to be fine. Plus, you have a nanny. So you probably sometimes just don't check these things, which most parents should. They should ask questions. It got to a point where my auntie was writing my homework, and then they called my mom at school to say, when your child is at school, what she does here and how the homework comes back don't match. So instead of my mom saying, but why is my child's work not matching her homework, she just went and told my aunt, don't write for her anymore. And for me, that was the beginning where my emotions now started getting, because now
anger, that
if she doesn't write for me, how am I going to fit in that school? Nobody wants to sit with me. Everybody spits, everybody calls me names. Others will come and be like, yo, are they going to change? So I was now being put in a space where you are not wanted. And I was feeling it. And it was so hard that I I really didn't really pick it up as much, but I would a lot because I would always find myself alone. You see, and you know, children are not, kids are honest.
Yeah.
They would tell you, go, 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 we don't want to sit with you. You see, I remember I only became happy when I was on stage. I think it was Christmas Carol, and they were doing the Christmas play. And then they made me an angel. So when I got on stage as an angel, of course, the audience, the adults, pictures, that's when I realized, oh, when I'm in this character, when I'm on stage, people perceive me to be different. You see, I think that's where my love for acting came. Okay, fine, we're still in my foundation stage. Now, I'm in a position where, even at home, you know, other siblings would say red tomato, you know, red, because also my skin, by the way, most important part. I don't know how to say it. Mine looks, people are going to be like, oh, she's so pretty, her skin is fine. That's not how it is. It's like this because I'm in here like a vampire.
Yeah, you can't be in the sun.
You see?
Yeah.
But I live on sunscreen.
Yeah.
I live on sunscreen like I live on ARVs, you understand? Without sunscreen, I would blister. Without sunscreen, I'm red. Without sunscreen, I would have sores. There's other people with albinism out there. If you check them in Africa, they've got sores, they've got what? It's not that their skin is bad or they're reckless. It's the sun. Just a few seconds in the sun. I just came from here to the gate. That was a lot for the sun to do its job, you see? And when it burns you, it's like it eats. I've also had 2 skin cancer operations, but I'll get into that. So it's really bad. So as a child, because there is no advert saying, hey, my name is Regina, I have albinism. Do you know I have to use sunscreen? No, there isn't. Nobody is talking to parents about making sure a woman like myself, a child like myself has sunscreen. What they are is telling people that comfort cream will protect you from the sun. So my mom saw that advert and she used comfort cream on me. But comfort cream isn't sunscreen. So I used to burn. I used to burn. I mean, when you burn, you blister. It becomes like with boils. You know, like when you're burnt.
Yeah,
but
like a 3-degree burn.
Yeah, so you kind of have those boils on you. You can't put on clothes. You can't get into water. You can't be touched by anyone. That's how painful it is. And you have to wait about 2 weeks for them to burst. And after they burst, then your skin becomes hard, like a pig skin, like it just becomes cricket. And then that skin has to peel off like a snake. You know, I don't know why I'm using these examples, but I'm trying to make people understand.
Absolutely.
You see, so that's the process. Now I've learned that information. So once you learn and you equip yourself, then you become where I am. But when you don't know, you're going to be conformed into what is there. So what they see now is this, oh, her skin is nice, it's pure, it's the person I am. But before I was red, I had sores, my lips were constantly blistered. My skin had all kinds of brown patches, and those are from exposure to the sun. The sun will burn me even when I'm sleeping in my bedroom and the window is open. The sun will burn me if the roof or the umbrella is not too strong. It will hit me, and it can burn me from my scalp to the last toe of my foot. You see, and that's the worst part in Africa with people with albinism, is that nobody's talking. We need 100% sunscreen. We need it. We need it. It must be given free, like condoms are given for free.
Absolutely.
You see? So basically, that would also scare other kids. The fact that I was also looking, you know, burnt and all that stuff. So I didn't really have that childhood people say, oh, she's pretty, she's this, she's that. I was just like, you see?
Yeah, leper.
Yes, you see. So that was my foundation. And then other things that happened is that around 8 years old, I remember it correctly, because I was always most of the times in the yard. My mom would keep me in the yard, right? In the yard, so before going there, my dad, while he was still alive, he's late now, because he knew that I was not going to receive the love from community, he tried to make sure that he gave me that love. He would come to my school, bring me lunch that would attract other kids to say, ooh, your father brought her lunch at break time. Then they would want to eat my lunch, and that's the only time they got to be my friend. So it's like, if I have something, I get people to like me. But if I don't have something, I'm basically nothing. You see, he would take me from school, take me maybe to go get my ears pierced. He would take me to the museum or swimming. He just wanted to keep me, you know, in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I was at home, it was a totally different story. Okay. So that was basically my foundation of my learning in my primary school, and then my identity as a woman with albinism. And as it goes, so like I said, people believe we're a magic charm, we can cure this, we can cure that. They believe, oh, the best one in South Africa, we don't die, we disappear. Yeah, we don't die, we don't get buried, we vanish. Yeah.
I love that. Well, save some funeral cost.
We don't die. And it's so crazy that people would say, hey, Albino is dead. We need to go to see Vele
that she's actually dead.
In the box. You understand? And the rumors and the seed that's been planted, sometimes, the seeds that get planted are so bad, So sometimes to heal, you have to unroot the seed seeds. Because it's the roots that support the branches. You understand? So the belief is so bad that my own aunt, right, her husband was going to play the lotto, and then I joked with him. I said, oh, take my hair. He's like, don't be silly. He said, no, hey, you don't know. These people, it's true. You're going to win. Yeah. She said to me, actually, you are my sister's child. Yes, I love you, but I want you to die before me so I can see that you have been buried. And I froze. And some people would say such things in front of other people, and everybody's just like laughs. And at that point, I found myself now like emotionally dying without showing, because I'm thinking, oh, you hit me so bad in the chest, it hurts, but how do I show everybody else that what you just said broke me? So you keep quiet, and in your heart you just start building that anger, that emotional pain, like what the hell, what is going on, And some of my anger became like that. So now, 8 years old, I'm outside by my yard. By the way, I'm just gonna say I have been raped 15 times, right? So I'm not gonna give details to all of them, but I'm gonna give details to the beginning of most of them, right? Those who wanna know the rest, I don't know, they're gonna know, but what perhaps will know. So at the age of 8, I was outside playing alone, and then my uncle came, not my biological uncle, but because we as people, for communication, for respect, we say,
he's my uncle,
yes. Yeah. She's not Brahmin, she's Auntie, Auntie B. You understand? So automatically my daughter knows you are Auntie B. When she meets you tomorrow and I'm not there, she's going to say, Auntie. Yeah. Do you see? That's the kind of engagement that happens. So we allow our kids to feel a certain comfort with strangers, you see. So there was a man like that who was my father's friend, constantly came to the house. He was one of those people who were in and out. He ate on our table. So he was uncle. This one time he comes and I'm playing outside. My brother is in the house watching TV. He says, is your mother and father at home? And I said, no. And I think he knew, because he knew what time they come home anyway. Then he said, who is in the house? And I said, no, it's just my brother and
innocent little
just my brother.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Do you want some sweets? Yes, I want some sweets. And then he's like, okay. And he looks left, because now it's like, those, suburb areas are a bit quiet. It's not like in other communities or township where there's there's people everywhere. You understand? I think you understand that part. It's hardly people on the street. So he looked right, he looked left, and he said, okay, I'll get you some sweets, but first come, sit on my lap. And then he picked me up and he put me on his lap, and he basically, raped me. But I wasn't aware what he was doing. I was just, I just sat there and I was frozen, because I'm like, what is this man doing? But I can't ask him, I don't know anything, I'm 8. And then when he was done, he picked me up and put me down, right? Then he says, I'm going to buy you sweets. Don't say anything. I'm coming now. I'm going to buy the sweets. And all I remember is that I had this energy because I was playing and playing and playing. Now I'm like this. What just happened? Then I'm like, what is the stuff that's dripping down my thighs? I don't understand it. Okay, I go inside the house and I go to the bathroom. So I remember this story in as I went, I removed my underwear and I left it in the bathroom, right? That's the story I told. But when I came out with it in public and I was able to engage with my mom and, have one-on-one sessions, she actually told me how it happened. She said, no, my child, you did not take your underwear and leave it in the bathroom and you went to sleep. I was bathing you. I was about to bath you. Then I saw your underwear had this stuff. Then I asked you, what is this? And you didn't know, right? Because I told the story as my mom saw it. She asked me, what is it? And I said, I don't know. And I didn't know. What am I supposed to say this? Then she said, what is it? And I said, I don't know. So as a mother or an African woman, or guess sometimes, I guess it's impulse, whatever it was, she went and took a stick and said beating me. And I just, and parents, when they hit you like that, you've done something, but you don't know what it is. So you cannot say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this. So she kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me. And then she says, what is this on your panty? Where did you get this from? Then I said, no, it was my uncle. It was uncle. He said I must sit on his lap. That's how I said it to her. And I guess because of taboo, and I'm hoping after this podcast people can start opening up because of taboo. And I got to know this later on because I was told I had to talk about it with my mom one-on-one. Because what happened is that immediately after that, I remember just being in hospital and the doctor examining me with my dad near him, but no one said, my child, next time somebody does this, jump.
Yeah.
Next time they didn't give us that relationship to say, this is your flower. Create a language so that if my child says, someone touched my flower, I know what flower means to her. You see? So it was just nothing. It's like it never happened. In fact, if I did never talked about it, it never happened. You see? So when I asked my mom in the future, but why did you keep quiet? She says, my child, it's like I was also raised that this is a taboo. You don't discuss such things. These things are just discussed in the family. And you're a child. What was I going to tell you? You see? But now I can say you're going to come back and say, you learn to say no, or this is not your uncle, or next time someone touches you, tell me. You see? Then now this happens to me, it's not addressed, you understand? And that's what happens in life. If a seed gets planted and no one unroots it and it's a bad seed, it's gonna grow. That's why some people say, I keep getting raped and over. Why am I bad? Like, no, because the first time it got planted into you, nobody came and removed it, because the seed will grow regardless whether you water it or not. It will rain, something will happen, but it will grow because it's been planted. So because this was the foundation that was planted in me. And also, sometimes certain things happen to people in our past and they never got to talk about it. So it happens to the new generation until somebody breaks it. My grandmother, whose name I carry, Regina Mary, was raped as a teenager. And because of taboo, again, she was never allowed to talk about it. In fact, she was told to even not acknowledge the fact that the rape brought pregnancy. Do you understand? So she grew up like silent. Even up to her death, I don't think she ever had a chance to know that you can talk about it. Do you see? So I carry her name, Regina Mary, and this started with me. You see, it could be the fact that, yes, I am the light of this world and darkness tried to suppress me. Or it could be the fact that it happened to her and her pain has never been rested. It happened to me and now I've spoken about it and now I've cut off that spiritual, whatever it is.
Yeah, you took over where she...
You see.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
So, okay, now I'm still 8-9 years old, and then I know nobody wants to play with me. I can't go outside because I'll burn in the sun. One of the reasons that would keep me sometimes in the house. Now, across my house, there were 3 ladies, right? They worked as prostitutes. In the daytime, they would be home. At night, they would go work. Everybody knew them, and they were nice, young, fresh women. When they saw me, they were like, oh, hello, you little Nampopi. Nampopi is a little doll, cute, come over. And I would go there. And when I was there, they treated me nicely. It was okay. They loved me. Or at least I thought they did. You know, they gave me chocolates and all that stuff. And I spent time in their house. But as I spent time in their house, they had clients that would come home for private sessions. So in the presence of what was happening, and as a child, this is not gibberish. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. So it's normal what's happening until you become an adult. And then now you learn what abuse is. Then your brain takes you back and you're like, what the hell? So that was abuse. So I've been abused actually for this. This was abuse. That was abuse. Then you get messed up in the head. So now I'm at that house. Nothing's wrong. Men come. They walk naked. You know, they're having sexual intimacy right in front of me. I'm sitting here eating a chocolate. They're busy right here in front of me. That's how it happened. Literally naked in action. And I'm sitting there. Until their clients would be like, actually, no, ask her to join us. Call her. And they would call me and they would say, touch here, do this, do that, climb here, do that. And I did it. I remember it like I did it. And when I got home, I was only asked, where were you? That's it. No followed up question to what were you doing? That's the most important question parents should ask. Where were you? I was by. What were you doing? Because I was at the shop. What happened at the shop? You see, so nobody asked me what I was doing, so I never told them. I didn't even think I was supposed to tell them. So now, because now a seed is being planted in my head, do this. And when these men are doing this to me, they have this, I see their white teeth. So to me, that's happiness, you know. Remember, I'm already feeling, I'm always pushed away.
And
you see.
And they want you near.
Nobody wants, so yes, these ones want me near, but now it's because I'm doing this to them. So I don't know how it got planted in my head, honestly. All I know is that the gardener outside our house was busy doing gardening. And I went to him and I said, come and do this to me. And he's like, oh, what are you saying to me? Then I got scared. I was like, what have I done? Why is he upset? Then I went into the room and I was trying to think, why did that man shout at me? What's going on? Before I could figure out what I did, oh no, his mind just changed and came, picked me up, grabbed me, and basically just, I don't know if there's age restriction, but just penetrated me. And I felt so much pain. I basically started crying. And he was shocked. He's like, but you're the one who came to me. He's like, shh, like, scared. So I kept quiet. And I remember when I would have to go pee, I would be in so much pain. But I wouldn't say anything because I didn't know who I'm supposed to say. I remember I would tell my mom, Mommy, when I pee, it's sore. But she said, no, you don't know how to wipe yourself. You take the poop to the front. So that's the thing. She says, no, when you wipe this way. She never picked up that I was, you understand. Yeah. Okay, fine. That part got closed. Now, we were like the middle house. On this side, there was a house. On this side was a house. And in the front was those ladies. So remember now, this was not a once-off thing. This was part of now my life with these women. And then next door was a boy who was 1 year older than me. His parents worked with my parents, so automatically he had to be my friend. Not the kids on the street. Those ones, they make a choice. This one, the parents said, you have to be a friend because we know the parents. So I would go play with him. Vroom, vroom, he's a boy, I'm a girl. Vroom, 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 we're playing cars outside by the veranda. His two brothers would come. One is 21, one is 19. And I have to reveal all this because this happens under people's noses all the time. And they don't want to think that it happens. It does. It does. Two of them, 21, 19, would come and say, let's go play Mommy and Daddy. Mommy and Daddy is a game where kids create the family structure, right? Which I don't know why people don't question it, because obviously family structure means mommy, daddy, baby, something else is happening there. Let's play Mommy and Daddy. Then they said, I'm the mommy. The friend who is 10 years old is the child. And
he's the daddy. Yeah.
they're the daddies. So now, baby, go play outside. You stay here. Because you're the child, stay outside and play. So he stays outside. Mommy, it's time to sleep. Let's go sleep. And the sleep was, they slept with me. Oh, daddy, it's time to sleep. Let's go. Then the other one basically switched me back and forth. Did I know? No. Was I okay with it? Yes, because they were talking to me. For some reason, I don't know why. Was I aware that I was being raped? No. Did I know it was not right? No. Nobody told me. Nobody mentioned it. It was never something I was aware of. To me, it was okay. Okay. Same scenario. The other house, there's 2 girls. Same. My parents work with that thing. They have a brother who is older. I can't remember the age. And these people are still alive. Literally. And they're married today. And I'm like, okay. We have some, like, anyway, we'll talk about it. You know. Yeah. Okay, then when I go play by that house, he would say, I'm going to buy all of you sweets and snacks. He would send the 2 sisters to the shop with the money and tell them that I can't go with them because I'm going to burn in the sun. And when they were gone, he would say, I love you. And then he would have his way with me. So that was my foundation. Somebody would say, why is it happening so many times? I don't know. I guess the seed kept on growing. Then now I'm at school. Same school, private school now. It's obviously a higher grade. I had a French teacher who would come there with a bow tie, very loved, by the kids. He would come, bonjour, bonjour. One of those extra lessons, we learned French at school and piano. So obviously when he came, it was such a huge thing. So he'd come, bonjour, bonjour, and the kids would, loved. And then he would write the days of the week on the board. Lundi, Monday, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi. And then he would say, everybody, read. And they would all read. Lundi, Monday, mercredi. Now, in my head, I'm going through this mental damage because I can't see the board. So I don't see what they're reading. 2, I don't want people to know that they cannot see. They know I can't see, but they don't care. 3, everybody else is reading. I'm not reading. I'm not supposed to be. I don't want to be here, but my mom won't understand. So what am I supposed to do? What can I do? No, while they're reading it out, memorize. Just hear what they're saying and quickly grasp it very fast. So as they're saying Lundi, Monday, I'm also moving my mouth like I am. Everybody, keep quiet. Mademoiselle Mary, read. Lundi, Monday, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi. And he'd say, go and point where it's written. Then I'll be like, I can't see. You are blind. You need to come to my desk and read from my desk. And one would think, oh, what a lovely teacher he was. I mean, he said, come to your desk to read. A beautiful teacher. He would take the book. And you see in a classroom setup, the teacher's desk is like a bit high. And then there's always sometimes like a tablecloth that follows it. So we are on this side. Let's have this scenario. You are sitting there. There's a whole tablecloth above you. Then you say, come. So he would say, come, read on my desk. Open the book in front of everybody. They're reading. He opens the book. And then he'd be like, read. So read with his right hand would be pointing the book. And then he says, come closer. So I'll be standing up next to him. As you're sitting, I stand right here. And your right hand is pointing at the book. But your left hand starts going underneath my dress. Open. You'd pinch my thighs so I can split my legs open. And while he's pretending to say I'm reading, his fingers are busy just fiddling with me in an uncomfortable way. In my head, I'm more focused on, you're stupid, you can't read, because I can't even read what he's saying. I must read. But that was like the worst torment, because I can't. And I asked myself, but why can't I read like other kids? Understand? So I thought the skin caused this, I just hated myself.
Yeah.
And when he was done, he would say, Mademoiselle Mary, you're beautiful. Don't tell anyone about this. When it was piano lessons, there was a class where we had piano lessons. And he would say, everybody, I want to teach each and every one of you one by one. So each one must come one by one. So that same pattern continued. Now it moved from my breast, from my touching me under my dress to fiddling with my breast. You see. And did I complain? No. Did I tell anybody? No. Who? Why? Why? How do I tell them? What happened? What was wrong with that? I don't know. Because parents don't want to talk about it. It's too much. But it's happening. You know. And when a person finds this out later on, then they become so messed up. They feel so pathetic, so dirty, so broken, so invalid. You see? Okay, so basically that was that situation, the French teacher. And then my life now, I moved to South Africa at the age of 12, right? Okay, I'm thinking, well, my father passes on. And then my mom marries his twin brother who resided in South Africa.
Wow.
Yes. Forgive me. But yes, my father was a twin. My father dies. His brother comes from South Africa. He says, no, let's take the kids and maybe I could get a better life here, you know. So my mom marries him and we come to South Africa. And I'm thinking maybe it's a different country. It's going to be probably better. People are not the same. The story continues, right? It continues. I'm in high school. I remember the first day I arrived at school. The entire assembly turned around. It took one person to touch another person, And it's another thing if there's like 2 or 3 of us in a school.
Yeah.
But there was one of me. And when they looked, you know, it was now even worse.
Yeah.
Now it was like I now believed I'm ugly, I'm a monster. I would smash myself, and I started now hating myself. And that's where my suicide started. You know, in total I attempted 11 suicides.